G'day everyone, Prep Aussie here. I hope you're all well in whatever part of the world you're watching this video. Today is Tuesday, the 2nd of October 2018, and the time here is 10 AM Australian Eastern Standard Time. Well folks, this video is going to be financial, more financial than anything else. The reason I'm doing this is because a couple of things have happened in the last couple of days, last week, that you may not have been aware of. Before I show you anything there, if you haven't watched Greg Hunter's interview with Gerald Celente, which was done on Sunday, then I would strongly urge you to watch it. Look, these guys are now, openly, they've been saying it for a while, but Bill Holter, David Morgan, all of them are now saying, look, they're waving really big red flags. Before they were just going, meh. Now they're going, whoa, This thing is literally imploding on itself, folks. Can they chuck more money at it? Of course. But then the debt just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The US are now nearly paying back $1 trillion in debt per year. Now, obviously, this can't keep going on. So, as regards to this channel is called Prep Aussie, i.e. Prepare Australia. That was what the whole purpose of this channel was, and that's the whole purpose of me doing what I'm doing. Look, folks, it's over. Look, when, I don't know, but it's over. That much I do know. There's not going to be a big fanfare, leading up to it. It's just going to go bang. And then you're all going to be standing around going, whoa, sorry, not you. You're at least you're awake. Imagine all the people that are sitting there. They go to bed, they wake up. Holy shit. And then the first thing they do is drive down to the supermarket and everything's empty. And then they drive to the petrol station and there's a 5k queue for petrol. Look, I can't stress this enough. Every barometer that I am seeing is history repeating itself. And ironically, over the last couple of weeks, I'll tell you what I've been watching a lot of. I've been watching a lot of the crash, the 1929 crash, and the Second World War. And I tell you what, if I got a mirror and I put it towards today, it's just a mirror image of what is going on today. There's hardly any difference between the two. Stock market flying up, everyone's running around dancing and yoo-hoo, she's all great. Yoo, yay, yippee, yoo. Let's get the credit card. And I tell you what, that is the biggest difference between then and now, is credit cards. The only difference between then and now, in regards to that as well, is people took out loans to buy stocks back then and to get bigger margin calls. So we've replaced that with this credit card. So this credit card is doing potentially the same damage as what that was in the Great Depression. The only problem is that it's staggering what the difference is between the credit card debt and the stock buying loans, brokerage debts. Like, they're not even close. The credit card debt is just monumental. And guys, they know this. They all know this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to trading economics, and I'm going to show you a couple of things that happened last week that should galvanize you a bit and also help you to pass this on to others in regards to proof, showing them proof. Just sitting them down and saying, listen, just listen to what this guy's saying. Listen to Gerald Celente on USA Watchdog, please. And you can't, you know, somewhere along the line, the cogs have got to start turning. Okay? Right, let's go to trading economics. Before I do that, I want to say something about what people are watching at the moment, because I get a lot of comments saying, oh, watch this and watch that and blah, blah, blah. And someone sent me this thing for a dandelion guy in Alaska. This chubby Jewish guy wears his cap and shit. Look, that was kind of like crossing a Rubicon for me in regards to asking you guys to just be a little bit more sensible about what you're watching. Because, look, I'll put it to you this way. I watched it, and I watched some of his videos. And it's all about pedophilia. It's all about people that are dodgy. It's, you know, and my source is this and my source is that. And blah, blah. Right, let's just step back a second here. This guy is in Alaska. And he's quoting people from wherever, saying, these are my sources, etc., etc. Jim Carrey's a paedophile. You know, Brett Kavanaugh's a paedophile. You know, they're all paedophiles, you know. Just look, as I said, I'm not getting into it because I don't know enough about it. And even if someone presented me with the truth, how would I know it was the truth unless I was there or I knew someone that was there directly? So you have to start using a bit of discernment, folks. You know, sure, the guy's putting stuff out there about, you know, other things as well, but just, you know, it really worries me that some bloke in Alaska is putting out these videos and people are watching these videos and going, okay, well, it must be true. You know, just like I said, just please, can you have a bit of discernment about what you're watching? You know, that includes me. Do your research. I show you the stuff. Research it yourself. Just because people say it's true doesn't mean it is. Okay. Here we are on the Trading Economics website. Now, I've gone through this with you guys before. But what I'm going to do is go up here into the search engine, just for this one, okay? I'm going to type in oil. Press enter, and it brings up a whole raft of things. Crude oil. Let's go to crude oil, okay? And it'll obviously bring up all the charts, etc. when it's ready. Right. Folks, do you see a problem here in this chart? Now, look, the problem is, and for some reason it's not showing it today, but oil actually went above 80 US dollars the other day. It's not actually showing it there. But what I'm going to show you is go down here, look. 1 day, 5 days, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, year to date, 1 year, 5 year. Let's just press on all. Okay. This is 2009. Do you remember 2009? I do. It was at $146.35 a barrel. But what I'm going to ask you to do is look at the sawtooth down, and then started taking off, went up and up and up and up and up. Now look at this over here. It hit a low of $27, which is kind of depression type figures. And now it's starting to take off. Okay. This is not a game. I remember I was in Abu Dhabi when oil hit $146 a barrel. And you might have thought that everybody would have been jumping for joy in Abu Dhabi, where they literally, you drill a hole in the ground and oil comes out of the ground. And I'm not shitting you. That's what happens. There's a couple of buildings that were built there that, you know, they drilled piles through the ground and they were hitting oil. Now, here's what happened in Abu Dhabi. And I was there, so I know exactly what happened. Inflation took off. And I mean, you'd go to the shop in the morning to buy a chicken, and it was 10 dirhams, 7 dirhams, 7 dirhams. I remember this as well. You go back in the afternoon and it was 10. Now, I was earning British pounds, so I wasn't too fussed, because the pound just kept getting stronger against the dirham. Yeah, so, sorry folks, I had to go away and come back. Look, the everyday people, Abu Dhabian, weren't laughing either, because the prices got so high they couldn't afford to eat. Now you might think that that's really silly, but if you're only earning a couple of 100 dirham a month, which they do, some of them, then the price of a chicken going up, 5 dirhams, whatever, then you start to realise that, this is going to kill this country. And it wasn't long after that, literally weeks before, everything literally went down the toilet. And I mean literally down the toilet. We all lost our jobs within weeks. So at one stage we were just, yahoo, let's go. We got all this money, we're earning money, good money in a far off country. Everything was going well, parties, and it was just like the Great Recession, the Great Depression. Everyone was like, woohoo! And then all of a sudden, poof, scattered to the wind. So, take the point. Now, what I'm going to do is go back. Right, let's go to sorry folks, hang on. Okay, so this is the Brent crude oil price, and the Brent crude oil price went to 84.92 just last week. It's now dropped a little bit, as you can see, $1.29. So, it's starting to take off. Now, what I'm going to do is go back, and I want to show you something. As I've always said, once bond prices start to take off, then it's all over. Now look what happened at the bond price in the UK, the UK bond, 10-year bond last week. Kabushka. It's literally starting to take off. And the reason for that is because people can't make money anymore, folks. Now look at the US bond. Do you see a pattern emerging here? Now look how far this thing's taken off. Look. I can't even show you on the chart. It's gone off the chart. It's at 3.08 now. Now look what happened last week. On the 24th of the 8th, it was at 2.82. And now it's at 3.08, heading for 3.1. Now I want to show you one other thing. Now, follow me with this because it's important, okay? Let's go down. And I've said before, you need to keep an eye on, if you're going to follow this, the news. German stocks rise as trade tension ease. Brazil trade surplus smaller than expected. You know, some of these countries are getting slammed. Pakistan inflation rate drops. Right, and what I want to do is go down here. Okay, folks. Right, if you look down the left of the page here, you'll see Pakistan. Now, if you click on it, last week, they had to put their interest rates up a whole 1%, which you might think, well, geez, that's not a big deal. But it went up 1% in one day. Now, like I just said, you might be thinking, oh, that's not such a big deal. Well, if you're earning Pakistani, whatever it is they earn, currency, then you've just lost a shitload of money. Pakistan and India both did the same thing, by the way. India is now having to put up its interest rates. Turkey's putting up its interest rates. Brazil, Argentina, all the emerging markets are starting to crash, and crash rapidly. The bond market's starting to take off. And you might not think that by me saying taking off, you might not think that that's, it's that big, as in, taking off that much. But the US bond 10-year bond went above $3. 3% the other day. And that's a sort of like a line in the sand. So the US is going to have to put up its interest rates again. And then what happens is the dollar gets stronger. Then what happens is the emerging markets get crushed again, because they're now having to pay more money back because the American interest rate went up, which they borrowed in American dollars. And then the other problem is the American dollar gets stronger. It's this dog-eat-dog scenario, or the dog chasing its tail. And this is, it's literally collapsing in on itself. Now, one other thing, you can't just sit there and say, okay, if you're following this and you're a firm believer in prepping, then folks, what I'm showing you is 100% verified by Trading Economics, by the facts. If you don't believe me, just click on any country emerging market economy that you want to find, and you'll find they've either got rampant inflation or they're having to put the interest rates up. The debt levels are going through the roof at the moment, like literally through the roof. For all those people who are my age, which is 54, cast your mind back 30 years. Guess what 30 years ago was? 1988. to all those people out there that are younger and don't know what I'm talking about, everyone who was in Australia at that time knows what I'm talking about. Interest rates were 17.5% to 18% to 19% on houses. Now, very soon, the RBA is going to start jacking up interest rates. Very soon. Australia cannot pay back its loans at the moment because our debt levels are so high. We've now got $550 billion in debt, just straight government debt. That doesn't include everybody else's debt, just straight federal government debt. 550 billion. It was in the newspaper yesterday. If you don't believe me, type in Google Josh Frydenberg's announcement yesterday. So my whole point to this is we've now gone across the bridge over the river. They've put pontoons on the bridge and they've driven across. We're now on the other side. And it's a desolate wasteland waiting for us on the other side. This is how bad this is going to get real quick. And as I said, we're not going to get through October without something snapping. Keep an eye on the bond market because that's where this is all going to come crashing down. The bond rates are going to start, interest rates are going to start going up. Now, I mentioned 1988. The bond market, the US 10-year, the 30-year Treasury, I looked it up. You can look it up yourself, do some research. In 1988 was 12%. And I checked this with Bill Holter the other day. Those 30-year bonds are maturing in Q4 of this year, which is now. Think about what I just said. So not only that do we have all the problems that we just got, but those 30-year bonds are now maturing. The 1998, when the governments around the world were literally trying to get as much money as they could from anywhere because everything was collapsing. Because 1987 was the crash, remember? Black Thursday, 1987. And it's quite ironic because Norman Lamont was the Treasurer of England at the time, or at Chequers, whatever, Exchequer or whatever it's called. And to save the pound, or what he thought was saving the pound, he just chucked billions, and I mean billions and billions, down this black hole that never came back on that day. Now, the ironic thing is, you know, he was lambasted by everyone as being a fiscal maniac. Have a look at where we are now. You know, what if you want to do a little short history research, just read up about Norman Lamont and Black Thursday. Or was it Black Tuesday? Can't remember now. It was one of them. But I actually remember the day I was walking through Belconnen Mall and there was people going, oh my God, it's all going to end. I was in Canberra at the time. No, I wasn't. I was in Cairns, yeah. So, look, it's all becoming unhinged really quick. And you need, as the saying goes, history repeats itself. So just do a little bit of research about the 1929 crash and look at now. And you're soon going to realise that things are going pear-shaped really quick. Here in Australia, if you haven't, this is not financial advice, by the way. I'm not a financial analyst or anything. So I'm just an economic hack. I'm just trying to warn people, that's all. But you need to check up on your mortgage. Make sure that you're secured. You know, you don't want to find out that you're actually paying a mortgage off at the moment and then find out 6 months from now you've got to pay back interest and principal. or principal plus interest. So there's a lot of tricky situations coming up, folks. So I'm begging you, please show this video to people. Show them trading economics. I've showed you how to use it. Listen, go on that side one where it says calendar and it says news, and I'll go on it now for you. And I'm sorry this video is taking a little bit longer. Right, look at this, news. Come down here, it says more recent news. I'm going to show you some things in this especially that are really worrying. Canadian dollar hits 18-week high. Bahrain, blah, blah, blah. Japan 10-year bond hits 32-month high. Brazilian real surges. So they're going to put the interest rates up again. They already put them up 22% in one day, if you remember. So they went from 40% to 66%. But the one I want to show you is down here. Brent, look at this one. Brent hits near 4-year high. Brent increased to a near 4-year high of $83. I've already shown you that. Look at all this news, and it's just sitting there waiting for people to read it. This is the one I wanted to get to. UK 10-year bond yield hits 32-week high. UK 10-year government bond yield increased to a 32-week high of 1.604%. Look, don't rely on me doing the research for you. Go and do your own research. Okay? Look up this stuff. Sorry, my dog's trying to get a pat. It's important. It's really important that you're aware of what's going on and other people are aware. Sit them down. Go through this stuff. Show them what's happening. If they don't believe you, show them what happened with the Argentina interest rates, and then go back 10 years and show them what happened to the Argentine interest rate. So it's the same thing. It's a mirror image. Exact mirror image. Okay, folks, verse of the day. Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you. Pretty good verse. And as always, folks, the Lord's Prayer. And I'm going to dedicate this prayer to hopefully helping people wake up. Because, we're running out of time. We really are, for people to wake up. The Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. All right, folks. Sorry for the length of the video, but I thought it was important that these things, I show you how to highlight these things and show other people. All right, have a good one. God bless. Prep out.